Alright, I want to talk about Zenkai for a second. So, you guys are probably fresh in your minds that rant I made about the Zenkai Vegeta and how absolutely garbage he is. He literally only does one thing, and that's blast damage, and he really only does it at Zenkai 7, which is stupid. So it got me thinking. That and, the kind of disappointment that was Trunks got me thinking, what direction are these Zenkais going in? Because these Zenkais have gotten worse since they removed the missions. You would think, right? You would think common sense, right? Common sense would dictate that when you take away the free option and make it a pay-only, basically a premium thing, if it requires crystals, that means it's a paid thing. You'd think you would make the Zenkais better as a result, not worse. Trunks and Vegeta are easily the worst Zenkais yet, with Vegeta just setting a bar for what not to do with a unit, right? And the stupid part is he had been buffed once in the past. He should have been the best Zenkai, but for some reason they decided they wanted to shaft Vegeta. But if you look at the Zenkais here, whether you want to believe it or not, every single Zenkai here is usable at Zenkai 1. Yes, every single one of them. The ones like Beerus and Cooler are exceptionally good, but and Boo. But even Goku, I know because I use Goku every now and then, Gohan, Goku Black, Broly, they're all very usable at Zenkai 1. They're all very good at Zenkai 1. Trunks and Vegeta are damn near worthless at Zenkai 1, and it's scaring me because they're going in a direction where they're basically making you pay for a bench unit. They are going to make you pay for bench. And I mean, if they want to do that, I suppose that's fine, but you can't keep the Zenkai title, because what we have, grown accustomed to when it comes to Zenkais is you take a unit that isn't that good, or in Cooler's case, a unit that is already really good, and you make them more powerful. You make them good enough to survive in whatever meta that they're being put in. Cooler was already really good. He didn't need the Zenkai, especially since I've been using LOE and ranked a lot recently. And my Cooler is only 6 stars, and I still, for the life of me, cannot see why he needed the Zenkai. But they take these units and they make them good in the meta that they're being put in. Gohan, when he came out, sure, it was hidden behind one of the paid abilities, but he had an ability that gave him extra damage against regen. Why? Because he came out in a regen meta. Vegeta is coming out in a fusions meta. He's coming out in a meta where Vegito Blue is the best unit in the game. So what'd they do? They kept his anti-Sun family in Super Warrior tag instead of just giving him that 30%. They time gate some of the good abilities like the arts card draw speed. They don't give him any defense against blast armor. You call him the king of blast. Half the meta units in this game have fucking blast armor. What the fuck am I gonna do with a blast unit when half the game has blast armor? Please explain to me how Vegeta was supposed to function at all when his only gimmick is, I'ma hit you hard with my blast card, when every fucker in the game has blast armor. How was he supposed to survive? Red Trunks, you release a red Zenkai unit when a blue unit is the best unit in the game, and you don't really give him that much. Truth be told, I couldn't even tell you what Trunks' new abilities are because I don't remember them because they suck. The only thing I know is that Trunks is a little bit better than he was before. Is the Trunks better than the Vegeta? Yeah, it's leagues better than the Vegeta. In fact, I said it in the rant, Vegeta is about as bad as Vegito Blue is good, and I still hold that Vegeta is terrible. But the Trunks is nowhere near as good as any of these Zenkais. Right now, the best red Zenkai is still this Goku. The best purple Zenkai, this man right here, Gohan. And even if they were better, that'd be one thing. But you can't remove the free missions and then make the Zenkais worse. You can't do that. You can't tell us to pay for something that was previously free and make it not as good as it was when it was free. What kind of sense does that make? Why is it that every Zenkai that was free is usable at Zenkai 1, except for the Legends Road, obviously, because you could get them to Zenkai 7 for free. So they were obviously not going to make them that useful at Zenkai 1 when you could just grind Zenkai 7. And that's another thing, like, if they wanted to nerf the Zenkais a little bit and make it so that you needed them at Zenkai 7, they shouldn't have removed the free option. They should have made them completely free. I still don't think you should have to pay for bench or a buff. Let's look at Dokkan, the Easy A system. Why couldn't you just do something like that? Why can't it be a thing where the Zenkai unit comes out, there's an event, we beat the event, and we can get the fucking Zenkai unit? Why did I first have to jump through 10,000 hoops just to get a level 1 out of 7 Zenkai, and now I just straight have to pay money to get them at all? And they're not even as good as they were before. Just a little thing that I'm going to add in post real quick. Something that's going to piss me off is when the next LF Zenkai comes out and you still need them at 7 stars to Zenkai them. Why is it that you make the Zenkai system a paid thing, but also still kept the 7-star requirement? Something has to give here. I can't be paying for the unit and it's Zenkai. What is happening here? When the LF Gohan or Goten, whichever one gets their Zenkai first, comes out and they have to be 7 stars or more in order for you to Zenkai them, I'm gonna be pissed. This turned into a small discussion, from a small discussion into another rant. Because this is ridiculous. Instead of ranting about just Vegeta this time, though, I'm ranting about the whole Zenkai system. It is absolutely absurd that they expect you to pay any amount of crystals just for a unit with a good Z ability. I don't care how good their Z ability is. Unless these Zenkai units start giving plus 100% to all the stats, you can't convince me that spending crystals for what is essentially just a bench unit is going to be worth it. Especially since they're only really going to be buffing one person on your team like that. Purple Saiyans, unless you want to run mono purple or purple red, he's not going to be buffing that much to begin with. And his normal ability is just Saiyan Blast Attack, so he's not providing that much to the team itself. Yes, when another Saiyan Zenkai comes out that works with purple and red, you have just that bench by itself. What works with purple and red? Green. You have the green Saiyan, the purple Saiyan, and then the red Saiyan, and then there's your bench for the top 3 units, right? But why do I have to pay for that? Why am I just paying for a bench? It's bad enough that I have to pay for units normally, but now you're telling me that I have to pay for the bench for those units too? What's wrong with you? If I wanted to pay for bench, I would summon on the banners that are already out to try and get more stars on the units that I can actually fucking use. It makes no sense to me to spend my crystals to buff up one member of my team when I could get more stars on a unit that I can actually use and buff up my entire team. Oh my god. How did they make the Zenkais worse? Not just the system, but also the units themselves. Literally, all you have to do is look at the fucking meta that's in front of you, see what abilities would help this unit survive in the meta, give them the stats to accommodate those abilities, and release the unit. You want to know what Vegeta should have had? They should have removed all the time-gated BS. He should have just had those uncancelable from the battle start. His Sun Family and Super Warrior requirement should not have been there. It should just be an uncancelable 30% when the battle starts. And honestly, his second ability, his third ability, the first one that's locked behind the crystals, that should have just been one of his abilities. They should have added that to his normal abilities, because he just isn't that good. And lastly, he should have had some defense against blast armor. He should have had like a plus 70, like plus 75% to blast damage when hitting someone using blast armor. Because there is someone who has an ability like that. I believe the blue transforming Gogeta has an ability, has an anti-blast armor ability. So it's not like that's not a thing. It's not like that's some new shit that we're asking for. You've done it before. How the hell do you release a King of Blast with no blast armor ability? How do you release a red defense type in a blue meta and don't give him any type neutrality? That red Trunks should have had some form of type neutrality, whether it be with his ultimate or his super or his main ability. I don't care. He should have had some form of type neutrality to be able to survive in the same meta as Vegito Blue. What are you going to do with the next Zenkai unit? How do you go down from here? What exactly is going to happen with the next Zenkai unit? Please tell me. What are you going to do? Because if it's any worse than what you did with Vegeta, I don't know. I don't even know how to respond to the question of what if the next Zenkai is worse than Vegeta. I don't know how to answer that question. My head might explode. I don't fucking know. It baffles me. It really does.